Welcome back. Once again, time for Haikyu. Obviously, I'm not in the spirit for it at all. A show which I really didn't understand or see how I would get behind it. A sports show, for one, but also a sport that I hadn't really ever thought of before. Volleyball isn't something that would have immediately captured my attention, and yet, over the short time that I've actually gotten a hold of this show, met its characters, and saw how much I've been attached to each of them and their stories. There's something special here. And of course, when I heard that some more of the story is going to be made into movies, I was a little perturbed and put off, because I really would have loved to have it more long-form format, another series for us. But looking ahead and looking at how I think things are going to go down, yeah, a movie might just do the trick, scratch that itch, per se, and hopefully have some damn good animation in it. So, if you're up for the challenge and the task, let's get to watching Haikyu. So, grab a drink, stay hydrated. Let's begin this match. Like I said, really wasn't sure on how I'd get drawn into Haikyu, and it's blown away every kind of expectation that I had for it. So I'm happy. Now, I should preface this by saying, after the end of the season, I did maybe kind of go ahead and read some of the manga, so I know where bits and pieces go. That's not changing how I'm going to see this. Seeing it animated for me and relive some of the emotions that I felt first time around. Game over. Might as well just give up now. No phone, no battery. There's no point. Also, yeah, seeing the crows and the cats having it so on the nose, considering it got the battle of the garbage dump coming up for us. And of course, hearing that little excited voice that we get from Hinata. He takes us all back. The excitement that he has and continued to have all about volleyball. He lived and breathed volleyball, didn't he? Now getting back into the energy of some of the characters is going to be interesting. It's more of something to do. He doesn't like exercise after all. They rely on him to a degree. And also, yeah, hearing that I'm only doing it during high school with no intention of actually caring about the game, then this Hinata and his outlook on it. Two very different attitudes towards it all. And yet it plays out in the same way. Yeah. Back to sleep. Yeah, he's going to need about 4 or 5 more alarms. There are morning people, and then there's Kenma. Oh god. Saying, yeah, there's morning people, and then we get text like that. I mean, there's winning. This match is a lot more than just about winning, isn't it? The Jaybird Inn. Definitely wouldn't care. Seems he was right on the money. He's gonna come after him after all. And how many times are we gonna see that symbology? The cat and the bird sitting out in front. And I do like that word, gomi. Garbage or trash or whatever the translation actually is. Just fun to say. Yeah, considering this match itself holds so much history and meaning behind it, and there are people all around watching on, the history behind the schools, the coaches. Speaking of, even if one of them isn't exactly on the court today. And referencing back to their little friendly games and the training arcs, the diving drills. They're going to need those hands for the match though, so... And I do like this couple watching on from the stands. The Battle of the Chance. Who's going to win here? Still, the cross-court music combo doesn't quite work out. Both at the same time, him alone on the other side. Down those home teams having people to support them. He's very just straightforward, to the point, and logical about things. It reminds me of many a time doing sports and when I was at school, dragged along by those around you. The energy is palpable. Ah yes, please introduce everyone for us in case we've forgotten. I get it's for everyone watching from the stands or on the TV or whatever, but just in case you've forgotten some names. Now there are a couple which I can't quite remember. Oh yes, Tanaka has really grown or come out of his shell. Not he really needs it, but been a force to be reckoned with. Each got their pre-match warm-ups. Ski. Ah, yes. Our boy, the Guardian. And seeing each of them still attached to it, the people watching on from outside, is granted wishing them on, even if he's not there himself. There are some very good players amongst them. And some personalities that really bounce off of each other on the various teams. Did they write Gullible on the ceiling or something? Lev. I know that this match is going to be one for the ages, but also having an entire movie devoted to this arc, which I can't remember how many chapters long it was. He's there in spirit because his grandson is part of the team with the coach, carrying on his work like before. But this is their time to shine, their moment to make history for themselves. Oops. No straight off the serves points here. Also, like I said, I really hope there's some good animation when it comes to the various rallies and whatnot. That was a nice impact. Now, something I always did struggle with when following Haikyu was understanding the rotations, or remembering where people were, I should say. And try and do a little better. That was a nice cross-court running animation. But no need to hold back. Get straight into what makes the characters in this show interesting. Having Hinata just dash. No second credits, no continues. A death match. Look at those smiles. One with anticipation and a fight back. One just happy to be there. Hotel catnip. Didn't see that before. Yeah, playing to this level where you have to analyze your opponents, their skill sets, what they've learned, you can do to overcome them. Not something I can do. Not only because it requires more effort than I'd like, but in the moment when you're actually playing, I would forget everything. Sure. Take it to mean that. the block reading from them. Tit for tat. If they can do it, we can do it too. But it doesn't mean that they are left out in the cold there. My cat does love to eat grass, though. The fact that this match is so much more than just the match in front of them, but between the two teams, they're players. You'd be right. A not brilliant serve, but could have been worse. Go on. If you're going to do it properly. The little tap over the net and the rebounds. The whoop. I do love the interactions between the players, whether they're trying to piss each other off or rise each other up. It's not just we're rivals, we're out for each other's blood. So much more realistic than that. I almost forgot about the little graphic designer girl. But also seeing it from her perspective, seeing it hit up each time. Hey, he almost went for it. Give him something, at least. He's bringing all the gusto. However, he's not on his own. My boy. The fact that, you got Yamaguchi, who is quite a little reserved one with so many anxieties, and yet managing to bring it into his own. I raised that boy. Yeah, they grow and adapt constantly. Maybe you shouldn't taunt him. Because it just makes them grow. That is a nice little montage moment. Transition between the two of them. It's alright. Considering how lukewarm he could be to the topic before, that's grand praise. He managed to pull a few points though. Few words, small but means a lot. He did what he needed to. We do know how these things go though, right? Like to cut through everything right there. But also, what a bastard. Yeah, what was I going to say? We know how these things gonna go. If they pull ahead early, means there's going to be some crucial matters coming up. It's still in play. Don't celebrate too early. Yeah, don't let your guard down because they've got some crazy dives. You forget how much of a stupid genius Kageyama is when it comes to setting. I forgot who. Having to move on. This is, yeah, the end of the road for them all. There's no more games further on if they lose. However, is Kenmure gonna roll over? When they've got the momentum. They're behind, and yet Nekoma are known for analysis and coming back in the second half. Seeing little snippets of the match from all these different perspectives. I'm going to mention it every time I see it, but I love that. Actually sitting from the stands and... He can move! He can't do the diving set like Kageyama. That's surprising. I guess he's not a houseplant. Just Makes him want to try that a bit harder. I mean, as soon as you start comparing yourselves to others, thinking, maybe I can. That's a good way of looking at it. Such irritating little grin. But he's in play, he gets to do just a little bit more. Why wouldn't he be happy? Oh, tied off. Great serve. It's 25 all. And yet they are full steam ahead. He's evolving. Huh. Switching it up in the last second. Making them violate the rules. That's the best kind of point. The technical. The music every time. That's swell. Lucky that they had enough time to keep that one up. And yet, when everyone's so on edge, they tunnel vision out. Just like that, falling behind thanks to a momentary lapse. Already in motion. And you had a Guardian Livero on the other side. However, that's not a trick that can be used multiple times on them. That's a horrifying thought. May he always be in good health. Hearing that come from him. Just when he needs a way out, remember? You might not know his way to the training hall. Why on earth would they see each other again? I mean, he doesn't really give much of an option, does he? He forces your way into conversations. Or he forces his way in. Just little battle talk. Everything is, yeah, in the moment. He's came so far, he doesn't want to lose against the little rapscallion who forced him into conversation all those months ago. Yep, putting him on the back foot. At least that's what they believe. You're getting no congratulations from me, mate. It was a message being sent. We know what you're doing, and it won't work. Putting him on guard. That silence, just to be met with a shiver down his spine. Still, that pounce back that Hinata did, that was nicely animated. Live in the moment, the here and now. Almost took her head off. And of course, even off the court, seeing their personal growth. Oh, this guy. No, that's no fun, is it? I mean, who the hell is he talking to in this point? Always imagine that there's a camera watching you. However, Nekoma are a lot more than just persistent. They're growers. He knows what he's talking about, though. Yeah. Oh, God. Seeing them with the reflective nature in their eyes there, God, that was almost terrifying. The various ways of celebrating a point. Yeah, the problem is if they go on full power all the time, How much are they going to have left in their tanks by the end of it, though? That's the issue. So they can afford to play it slow. Him included, after all, he's been moving. He really asked. The battle at the net. Just keep sending it his way. One of these days he might get it right. Also, every time we have Nishinoya's saves being talked about, because they'll just come back in the next second. Yeah, they tried to shut him down before. Keep pestering on him. Are they going to rattle his spirit at all? The fact that he saw this, read it. I mean, after the failure, they're going to send it back to him to prove his point. The fact that they can just force their way in and get him in the way, blocking off the various approaches. Which would cause him to make mistakes. Being able to read people, motives, actions so far in advance. Terrifying skill. See? But just a few more. If they keep ticking away at the points, might start getting desperate. That's when they can make their move. Cage that little bird. Clip his wings. Horrifying imagery. Again. This is something that I struggle with a lot. There's several games which I have left at like 99.8% complete because I do refuse to finish it, because then it will be over. I don't know how the game ends. I haven't seen the final cutscenes. I don't know the ending, the final boss, that kind of thing. I think Persona was one of those games. And yet, focusing so much on him, it's making it seem as though the rest of the team don't have fight in them. The ultimate decoy now fading into the background. God, Lev taking all of the limelight. As long as he doesn't screw up the serve again. See, just like I said, pulling ahead in the beginning, even if they lost the set, now stay interesting, and then forcing him out of doing anything. What you need is a voice like that cutting through things. He may not be especially amazing in any aspect, but all-rounder. Just a little tap over. That was clean. And yeah, and the fact that he is somewhat being looked over, although we've seen it happen before. Need to come and wipe up this side of the court. Is getting a little slippy. Yep, pulling them apart piece by piece. Such a little diva. That frustration. You know, weighing up the pros and cons, what can get them the win, keep them in play. You are nothing. The fact that he had to work so hard. first person's perspective. I think we could all do with a thumbs up from Suga every now and again. And yet they're just taking it as, he's not very good, is he? Rather than seeing how much effort they're putting through just to try and shut him down. That's where you just need to turn off your brain and go primal mode. Just think on instinct. That confidence has definitely been shaken. But remember, stay interesting. And yet, is it going to be... Okay. Even when the chips are down, you can't give up. It doesn't end until that final whistle blows. Go all out. It's that kind of confidence that you need once in a while. Against the very eyes of fate itself. Wow. And seeing the very precipice behind him, and yet it's a call, isn't it? It's a moment to show his worth. He's not going to do it now, then when? Boom. What the hell is that cage made of? When he can jump twice his height, you know there's something special there. I mean, now just renewed all of his vigour and confidence, broken through the entire painstaking plan that Nekoma have set up, and rattled them a little. You can do better though, right? We're not used to it though. You still have... Ah, okay. I think we all get it. I can't remember... Can't remember what he was good at. You're meant to be encouraging your team, not the opponents. To offset his height. It's just something that's, despite this is constantly what we know, volleyball, set, serve, spike. The fact that it's keeping it fresh each and every time. How many matches now we've had, and how many rallies, and how many attempts. Nice catch. So close. Maybe they can take a break after this set. Is it going back to the draws from before? I really can't remember. But keeping it alive. The back and forth is really making the battle for the garbage dump mean something. Congratulations! He scored with his chest. Yeah, he's a bit of an enigma. How could they? Those bastards. They've pulled back the set that they strived so hard to try and get. All of the effort that went to shutting him down, wasted. That's the problem, yeah. If you give him the opportunity... the moment he compliments you, you know it's over. He's so generous. Okay, resistance training. But how does that make sense? I mean... yeah, scoring one which rattles the entire team so they get on the back foot and can't fight back. I'm sure scoring 20 points also does that. Has the same kind of effect. Yeah, kick him while he's down, why don't you? Yeah, the backbone of the sociable side of it all. Without him, he wouldn't have gotten into this world at all. He saw his potential. The fact that you can be pulled into something like this just because of who's around you and not willing to let go. He's a natural. Look at him bounce. I mean, You have to lower the net slightly if you want to try and do that right now. Get them interested. Almost. It's the timing of it all. At 1 in 100, is that feeling of that one that can get you amped up. Who would have thought that that coach would be the catalyst of it all? You're never getting rid of him. Yeah, he's not one that can really go through the entire thing, can he? Yeah, he definitely did. You've got explosive power and just the game, but just like he said, Kenra's way of seeing the situation, analysing it in an instant. It's an entire new class. See if we can get to at least level 60. The maturity of this kid. He's a good boy at heart. He's allergic to exercise. He goes all red and sweaty. You just can't say no to that face. What's he just grooving away in the background for? It's... I'll go on, jump as well. Yeah, it carries such a weight with it, knowing that this is the last time that one of them does end up fighting away. If it didn't carry that, really, the art style change for it. Was it an art style change, or was that actually what it was in the flashback? I really can't remember. Just keep flying. And just like most of the matches that we see of Haikyu, the fact that we get basically each of them getting that attention when they need it. How all of them are so intertwined with one another. How far all of them have come. Whether it be small changes in skill or their entire outlook. But as long as it gives them the urge to continue. You're killing them out there. If you just gave up. The fact that they encouraged him made him who he is. You've got to... Hey. You've got to love Bokuto every time he shows up. But I touched on it earlier. Now it's actually being shown out like this. The fact that Haikyu, unlike some other sports-based things that I know of, actually tries to build everyone up. Even if they are rivals, even if they are from other teams or whatnot, there's that sense of camaraderie and wanting to teach and do better. Powerful serve. Wow, I see. Now that they're getting into it, proportions are stretching. Wow. Yeah, with that face behind you, it would be terrifying. He's really getting excited now. Look at that smile. Considering it's just one point of many. The constant cuts and flashbacks, the pullback, slight off-model moments makes a bit of layer of charm on it, I guess. Good attempt. But the fact he's so into it, they're more than rivals. They're friends. Yeah, at each other's throats. That's what true friendship is. Wanting to outdo one another. Keep things interesting. Let's see if they can pull out his use, like with Yamaguchi. He's gonna sleep well tonight. But knowing that this is so close, and despite how tired they are, the music is as energetic as ever. What kind of stance and leap was that? He's there and waiting. I think, along with the speed of it all, the fact that they themselves, like their design and line work is keeping up with the energy of the match. Nice. He needs a mana potion. He's making him work for it, isn't he? This is the fact you've got everyone standing still for the moment. It's not the point that he's cheering for. It's for the other victory. If you can encourage someone so much as to get into the spirit like this, well, I have to meet that kind of person. But it's not it's a non-zero chance though, right? And also, yes, looking at the time, I know the movie itself is about, well, not about to finish, but not too much longer. Knowing the points are also about to dry up. But seeing them still fight on, whoa! Just wait until the very last moment. Nice dump. The fact that, above all, the cheering, the music, everything, it's just Kenma's exasperation, the exhaustion that we can hear. Imagine recording this. I just need you to breathe heavy into the mic for a while. This is being in the movie, right? Sure, we'll record that one after. And shaky cam first person, seeing volleyball from this angle, or the vision blur. I don't think I've seen anything like that before, seeing it from this view. It's strangely easier to comprehend and keep the attention on this way, being able to understand the plays, what's going on there. This is a very long rally. And we need a break from that for a second. The freeze frame in the moment. Back to the training camp, where things first kind of kicked off. That's a weird screen juttering that's hurting my eyes, actually. And back to reality. I remember that. Crucial moment right at the end. The game was fun. He never moved as much in his life. Then he sees the points. Hang on. It's over. What do you mean it's over? We can still go, right? We can keep playing. All that tension can finally be released. So, enjoy yourself. I see he's dead on his feet. And yet, it's all still worth playing for, even without some grand scheme in place or things on the line. It was a fun few years, wasn't it? That was Kenma's ultimate move. It wasn't to be used on the court, though. You can't just leave a line like that and walk off. That's not... Yeah. To get the love of it like the others. One of the two. Pick your answer, whichever you're most comfortable with. One hell of a game. The garbage dump was cleaned up after all. The fact that you did have the Predator handshake thing. Yeah. This was so much more than just the match, and it played out like it. I think that's he's there in spirit. Well played to all of them. Yeah, this is so much more than just the match. One thing I love about Haikyu is personal growth even after all is said and done. In reality, the show itself is character first, game second. Don't set them off again. It's always a hard one to say goodbye after all is done. Was he interesting? Cut him off. That's a couple of smiles that is so many series in the making. I think it works as a movie. I would have liked longer cut bits, but no, this paid off. The animation, the emotion we got out of it, but not being interrupted halfway or anything. And seeing all those loose feathers, though they took a beating, Kursano coming out on top. And the cat hungry for more, even if half of them aren't playing any longer. This was exactly... Oh, I'm leaking. Exactly what I wanted out of it all. And it's staggering that if you asked me to remember bits and pieces from Haikyu, 2 days ago, scant references, some bits and pieces that I don't really know what I'm talking about, but then have it in front of me like this, have me watch it, and everything comes flooding back. My mind and memory works in strange ways. Just vast blankness and then a slight hint and... wow. Everything right at the forefront. Yeah. Good movie, good match. Being able to see the various characters have their time to shine. Have my boy as number 12 come in, pull off a few good serves, do what he needed. Though it was only a few minutes, still got a tiny slice of his growth, which also helped out with Tsuki's moment later on. I think that first person sequence entire section was so interesting. Not only because you're trying to follow it, but also hearing the exhaustion from Kenma. Just an extra bit of immersion. I almost got exhausted watching it. Imagine getting out of breath watching a movie. Definitely need to do more cardio. And whether they be old tracks being replayed to great emotional effect, or new bits of music to go along with the sequences, gotta love the soundtrack. Anytime that there's the emotional swell as well. Oh, after credits. That's why I never cut it out early. Tachiyama. Don't talk nicely about him. But it's a moment that was kind of referenced and talked about, and now there's a... Now you're one of us! So, you're just part of the majority. However, rather than just a quiet acceptance, give him back his animosity. Yeah, his... Almost. But she's seen him at his worst. She can accept this. Entertaining, yes. But yeah, truly believing you're going to win. Yeah, if it's all about winning, are you missing the point? The owl. Look at those jumps. Oh, it's like seeing the little giant again, is it? How can she get so emotional, so attached to it? Yeah, the intensity of this guy. In fact, he has a somewhat kindred spirit, yet rival in Hinata. And the setup's not bad, I guess. Small things about this movie, like with the granddad, the old coach, reaching out his hand for that imaginary handshake because of the history, the effort, the hard work that they've been putting through the years and everything that this meant. He didn't get to have that final standoff against the other coach, but still playing it in spirit. And I think I remember saying it back when I was watching the season itself, or seasons itself, but I never really understood how people can get so worked up and attached to sports teams and sitting there watching it. But then here I am on the outskirts of it all, watching a fictional game, getting just as worked up, so maybe I need to extend an apology out to all of the sports enthusiasts. Still not going to feel bad about those that dragged me to actually see a football game, made me to pay hard-earned money to see it in person. God, that was a dreary existence. But hell, volleyball is a sport, and some characters larger than life, others sit by the wayside and yet have just as much impact. You don't need to be centre stage all of the time to have deep meaning and reverberations on those around you and the match itself. Small actions cause big ripples. And the fact that following on from, episode 1 of Haikyuu on to now where we are here, seeing the growth of not just the team we're following, but everyone around them and how they're going around, how they're building each other up, how they're even getting on outside of Haikyuu, outside of the matches, like with them that have stopped, finished their final match, trying to get on with lives out on the outside now. I love all of that. Still, I think I'm going to need a drink of a lot of electrolytes. Is there such a thing as doing exercise vicariously through others? It definitely feels that way. I'm a little drained. But the fight of the cats and the crows is maybe over for one this day, but definitely not in the long run. There's plenty more Haikyu coming up. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, though. I really, really do hope that you have enjoyed every moment of it, much like I have, and I've just seen my hair. This is not something we can just kind of brush over and think, yeah, no, that was okay. But Haikyuu is an experience. And this movie did pretty damn well at capturing that, encapsulating it into an hour and a half. If you agree with me, let me know. If not, keep it to yourself. Leave a comment down below. Maybe like the video if you made it this far at least. If you want to make sure not to miss future uploads, future videos, anything and everything, consider subscribing to the channel. Join on to my Discord if you want to just have any sort of notifications or chats or... No, I don't actually know what else we've got. Votes sometimes, maybe? But for now, take a break, get some rest, grab a drink. I'll see you for the next one. If you want to help the exhaustion that is my channel finally reach a level where I could exclaim that it was pretty fun after all, consider joining onto my Patreon and be on the court alongside the likes of Sal, Guado, Kite, Ruben Filamao, Wolvie Sensei, and everyone else. For without them all, I would still be stuck alone in my room and not nearly have this amazing team behind me.